Welcome back as we speak to former Collingwood champion Gavin Crosisca about his battle with drugs, ongoing battle as it is. And at the moment he's looking and feeling great. Gav, can I ask you a question? Did you ever try to give up?
Look, over the last 10 years, look, I used to go to bed every night, saying to myself, that was it, no more. I've got too much to lose. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got 3 great kids. What am I doing? I just didn't understand why I needed to do this. And I'd go to bed each night and I'd pray. I'd say, just get me through this, let me stop. And the next morning, it's all I'm thinking about is scoring again.
And how long did that go on for?
Oh, look, it would have to, that feeling of that complete powerlessness over my addiction, probably at least the last 4 years.
Gav, it's incredible to think that you went to bed every night, tucked your kids in, went to bed with your wife, with that in your mind, and wake up the next day desperate for another score, as you said, and go out and buy it. And you did that on a daily basis because you didn't buy like a whole, kilo of speed or anything. You were doing it on a daily basis because you were trying. Every day was going to be your last day, wasn't it?
Yeah. Over the last period of the last 3 or 4 years, it was. Yeah. Look, I was working 70 hours a week. I was a part-time coach at Heidelberg. That suited me. It was a completely isolated lifestyle. 4 nights a week I'd get home, my family were already in bed. It suited a drug addict. And yeah, it was every night, yeah.
So, at what stage did you stop? At what stage did it finally come crashing down on top of you? What was the catalyst to take the step forward that you have in your life?
I had a very open, willing and loving wife that saw something still in me. Nicole asked me to move out 6 weeks before the 5th of May.
Did she know at any stage of your drug activity?
She knew that she thought I was drinking too much. Yeah, the drink was starting to get a problem. Not the amphetamine use, no. And I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want to stay. I didn't know. I was so confused and so scattered. I left, and that just shocked and surprised Nicole as well. It didn't make sense to her, and the manipulation and the dishonesties and the lies, and it just was all too much. And she spoke to a couple of professionals, and they eventually suggested to her that it could be something else. So they suggested a rehab.
So did Nicole come back to you then and say, is there something else? When did you finally say there is something to this?
No, not at that time. I was... Look, this is how ridiculous... This is where it took me. I went into the rehab thinking that everyone thinks I thought that they thought it was gambling and alcohol problems. I'll go into the rehab, get myself right with my amphetamine use, and I'll clear my head. I read my diary that I wrote in daily about this, and it's just my headspace. It's just my reality was just crazy. Just crazy. It's insane. It really is.
Lying to yourself, were you?
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest dishonesty that happened was. It was just, but that's where it took me. It's where my head was, and it took a bit to shake it out.
So you go into rehab. When did the penny drop for you that the people there, the experts, knew what was going on, and that you had to?
Well, I was dishonest to the head psych there for the first week about my drug of choice. I said I was going along with the alcohol and gambling. He just wrote it down. He didn't care. He knew that it would unfold and it would come out, which it did. I eventually, 7 days in, admitted to it. It was just ridiculous. So, look, it was a light bulb moment for me to know that there was a rehabilitation services out there that could help me for what this inside illness that I had no idea about, to know that I could get help for that was just the freedom I had from knowing that was the case was just enormous. And I, the 12-step program, getting involved with that and hearing people share about their stories every time they share, they're talking about me. And to know other people are out there suffering the same thing I was suffering, and to be able to talk to someone about it was very, very freeing.
How long were you in rehab for?
I had 30 days in the first one, and then it was advised, Nicole and my counsellor, it's a fantastic counsellor, James Pryor, decided that I needed longer and needed more. Unbeknownst to me, I was thinking I was going home, and that's very early in recovery, and still so much more to learn about what was going on, and spent another 3 months at a suburban residential place called Refocus.
How did you and Nicole tell the kids? You've got Josh, who's 13, Riley, who's 10, and Tegan, who's 9. How did you tell the kids, where's Dad gone for 3 months?
Look, that was difficult, and again, without Nicole's willingness to learn about this, it would have been so much harder. Look, she had to move house. The kids, there's been a huge amount of change in our family over the last 17 months.
For financial reasons?
Yeah, financial. Me being away.
Yeah.
Nicole put it on to she used a Biggest Loser type camp
thing, yeah.
where I got away. The kids knew I was working 70 hours a week and very busy and very tired, so we went along those lines.
Yeah, so you told them that you were going off to get yourself...
healthy.
Yeah, boot camp.
Which I was to a degree, yeah.
Do you still think about the drugs now? Is it still there? Is it something that you have to fight every day?
No, the obsession for me to use drugs was gone day one at Malvern. Alcohol, I sort of, it's a bit of a, God, I get a bit of the poor me's and think, I'm not going to be able to drink anymore, but it's not about, I know where it'll take me. I wasn't a problem drinker, I'm an alcoholic. And I drink alcoholically. Another thing that I've sort of realised in my recovery time, that I didn't drink normally anyway. And I didn't think about drinking normally, which is probably the key issue. But it's been an ongoing process, and the 12-step programs have really helped in regards to removing that obsession. It's a new way of life and a new way to go about things. How
much do you think it's cost you over the years? I gather if you're going to a dealer every day getting drugs, it costs more than buying it in bulk. It's just simple economics. But that and all this stuff, how much has it set you back? Has it sent you back? It's cost myself and my family enormously, emotionally, spiritually, materially, mentally. It's cost us everything, especially my wife. She's some girl, Nicole. Look, the support, and I think you asked the question before about what you could do to help others in a situation. Well, her support and the way she's been open to learn about addiction, and to be there for me, and her patience. She's just been, she's been. What's the word, Eddie? She has been... Just a constant support for you? Or she's obviously just got involved in it and decided to make that her life, to find out, open up to it. Rather than being accusing, she's accepted you. Is that what you're looking for? Well no. Look, it's been really difficult for her. Like, yeah. As I said, last year was a tough year for her. It was extremely tough, and she has several tough days now still, because I've cost her a lot. The consequences of my addiction has cost my family, and that's the hidden thing that I think addiction we don't know about, and it's the families and the loved ones and the brothers and sisters and the mums and dads and the wives or husbands who are involved with the addict. They get affected equally as much as the person who is the addict. So when all this happened to you, you said that light globe moment, you've got a letter there. You wrote a letter to your wife, did you, and finally said things? Look, that was just a letter that I wrote to her for her 40th birthday, and she... Yeah. Look, it was a very, very turbulent, stressful, tough year for her.
finding out all the things she found out about, that her husband of 16, 17 years and partner of 20 years led a second double life type thing, was devastating. Yeah, and she decided to, was her 40th last year, she just decided to leave it for a happier year.
Has that year come?
It's better. Look, we're in a lot better position. It's because of my recovery and my ongoing recovery and my, I guess, me being active in recovery.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best at it.
You came to the Collingwood Football Club and asked for help. It must have been hard for you to bring up, even though friends and acquaintances, spoke to me, spoke to Gary Pert. For a proud man and having gone through all that, how did that feel, and have you been surprised or exhilarated by the level of support from everyone that's come into your life in recent times?
I wouldn't know where to start on how to thank you, especially in the footy club. Murray Brown at the Collingwood past players, just fantastic. The phone calls, the initial phone calls to you guys, very, very humbling experience. And addicts don't want to ask for help either. It's a very hard situation to admit to our problem in the end. But thankfully I was able to do that.
Tell us about your life now, because a couple of weeks ago you stood up in front of the 2012 Collingwood team, young guys. Chris Tarrant told me he could not believe it. Chris Tarrant was a young man when you were leaving. He was carrying Gavin Brown, who was, at the time you were being carried off the ground at that MCG. There's a young man there. He said he could not believe that you as a senior player was a drug addict at that stage, and your words just resonated throughout the club when you spoke to the players. First of all, what did you say to them, and why are you saying it to them?
Look, I think from personal experience, the more open I can be about my situation, I hope I'm able to help others in that regard. It's about opening up the awareness, I guess, because it's just not in footy clubs, it's a community issue. And I look at the Jeff Kennett situation with Beyond Blue. It made it easier for men to go and seek help. Well, I hope me doing, or part of me doing this, might help others get help as well.
How do you look back on yourself? I mean, you're still beating yourself up, or have you taken a step now to say, right, OK, here's who I am at 44 years of age, and I'm going to go forward into the unknown, but I'm going to go forward with a different outlook on life?
I was given the opportunity last year. It was a life-changing experience by going into a rehab. I've had fantastic support around me. You know, I had 24-hour or 24/7 support for 4 months while my wife was at home looking after our 3 kids, trying to work and all that sort of stuff. I need to look forward. Look, as I said at the start, I've got huge. My greatest regret is how I've hurt my wife. Other than that, I can't look back. I'm proud of the footy career I had. Could it have been better if I wasn't doing what I was doing? Well, you would think so. Yeah.
The drugs certainly didn't help you play better, did they?
Who knows? Well, yeah. I wasn't using it to help me do that. I need to look forward and look, with my study, as in I'm studying in AOD, I'm really, really passionate about helping others. I just see it as such an untapped issue. I don't believe there's enough support out there. There's not enough funding in regards to helping people in need. There's certain areas that you can get. I just don't know whether people realise what's out there.
OK, let's go to the next stage of your life. You are working in the area now. You are going down, you're working at RecLink, you're doing the courses. You've set yourself for a 2-year period to actually become an expert in this area. What do you want to achieve from it, and what do you think we all need to do collectively? Because this is a growing problem, it's not one that's going away.
Well, as I said, my main focus was opening up the awareness of addiction, with alcohol and any drug, whatever it might be, and the issues that surround it, to help family members and support family members in regards to having or being aware of red flags with their loved ones, is a really, really huge area that we can help people with.
What happens when the phone rings tonight and it's Tony Shaw or Craig Kelly or Peter Dacos, Lee Matthews, all those guys from the Collingwood days? What do you say to them when they ask, maybe, why didn't you ask for help or something like that? What are you going to say to them?
What am I going to say to them? It wasn't an option for me.
Yeah.
I didn't need help. I was okay. I was fine during my footy career. I was managing my life as best I could, and it was all okay.
You said to me when we were talking before the show, drug addicts don't have a choice. Can you explain that to us?
Well, I've learnt, and I now understand that I never had a choice. Addiction takes the choice away. I was always going to use, and I was always going to drink.
If there had been the AFL drug policy around when you were playing, and they picked you up, might that have been a circuit breaker for you?
Oh, look, it might have been. It might have brought my issue into my face very early. Oh, it's a hard question to answer. I couldn't really answer that one.
How lucky do you feel to have a wife like Nicole and your 3 beautiful kids?
Oh, look, I don't know where I would be without Nicole, and I'm very, very grateful she's been able to stick with me and hang in there. I'm sure the kids are happy that they've now got a father who's present in their lives. I certainly hope that they are, and you know, we take it a day at a time. We work at it a day at a time.
You feeling optimistic about the future?
I do, Eddie, because I'm fully active in all the things that I'm doing. I communicate. I'm present. I've got a lot of goals and ambitions I want to fulfil.
And just to finish on, what are you actually doing now? Because you're involved in RecLink and you're getting involved in talking to players at the Collingwood Football Club, other areas like that, using your experience to shine a bit of a light on their future?
Look, I'd like to. RecLink have been absolutely fantastic support for me in helping me. I've been coaching the Salvo Hawks in the RecLink football competition, which is fantastic. They're 12-step-based players, boys and girls, and they have a lot of fun. They really enjoy the time there, and we have a win and every now and again, and we have a loss every now and again. They really enjoy that stuff. Look, I think the Collingwood Community Centre, what the footy club are putting together, is a fantastic idea, helping young kids in all ranges of things, not just addictions, but mental health and so forth. I'm open and willing to do anything. I'm getting as I said, I'm getting my study done. I'm enjoying that, learning it from a different angle, a different perspective. And we'll wait and see where we go.
Well, Gav, I think you're remarkably courageous to come forward, and I should make the point that they certainly haven't been paid to do this interview, far from it, but you came to us and said that you wanted to get involved, one at the football club, and also that you wanted to, when the time was right, and we've spoken about this for probably the best part of 6 or 8 months now, when the time was right, you wanted to have your say because you wanted to open up the debate even further. It's a very courageous thing to do, to stand up and make a point on this. It's one thing telling your wife and your kids and those around you, but as a football star to come out and do it, it's a remarkable act of courage. Thank you for being part of the show tonight on ENT.
No worries, Ed. Thanks.
Go on there, Gav.